The campus buzzed with the usual noise of laughter, arguments, and hurried footsteps. But for Ruth, the world had turned strangely muffled. The morning sun filtering through the blinds of room 312 did not warm her like it used to. Her desk, once a sanctuary of textbooks and highlighted notes, now felt like a trap. An official white envelope sat on her table. She had opened it at dawn, hands trembling. Inside, the words glared at her in black ink. You are hereby summoned before the disciplinary committee on grounds of academic dishonesty. Her knees had buckled when she read it. The accusation, submitting assignments that were not her own. Ruth knew she hadn't cheated, but how could she prove it? Across the room, Vanessa stretched lazily in bed, her silk bonnet slipping over one eye, her phone glowing in her hand. She scrolled, her lips curling at memes and Instagram reels, as if nothing had changed. Ruth studied her in silence, suspicion twisting in her chest. Every detail from the past few weeks replayed, Vanessa sitting at her desk, notebooks moving, papers shuffling when Ruth entered the room. By midday, Ruth was in the dean's office. The room smelled of polished wood and faint cologne. A long table stretched before her, where 3 members of the disciplinary board sat. And among them, Professor Daniels, the lecturer whose reputation had been whispered about in every corridor. His eyes lingered on Ruth in a way that made her skin crawl. Too soft. Too familiar. The chairperson cleared his throat.
Ms. Ruth Johnson, you've been accused of submitting assignments not authored by you. Do you have a defense?
Ruth's voice cracked as she spoke. I always write my own work. I don't understand how this happened. The professors exchanged looks, unimpressed. Daniels leaned forward, fingers stippled, his tone falsely gentle.
Perhaps we can discuss this matter privately. I'd hate to see such a bright student lose everything.
Ruth's stomach twisted. She had the unspoken prize in his tone. It wasn't the first time she had sensed it from him. She swallowed hard, clutching the small silver cross around her neck. No, sir. Whatever needs to be said can be said here. A flicker of annoyance passed over his face before he leaned back, his charm cracking for just a moment. Back in room 312, Vanessa was pacing. For once, her nails weren't polished, her eyeliner smudged faintly from tears. She had just gotten off a call with one of her sponsors, his voice laced with venomous threats. She had laughed it off at first, but now she could still hear his warning echoing in her head. Her mask of control was slipping. And yet, even in her fear, she found a sick satisfaction in Ruth's misfortune. If Ruth was too busy fighting for her reputation, maybe no one would notice Vanessa's secrets unraveling. But deep down, she envied Ruth more than ever. That girl could walk into hell itself with nothing but whispered prayers and still carry peace on her face. Vanessa whispered to herself bitterly, she has nothing, and still looks like she has everything. That evening, Ruth returned to room 312, her eyes red but her spine unbent. She dropped her books on the desk, sat on the edge of her bed, and pressed her hands together. Vanessa watched from her corner, chewing her lip. Ruth prayed out loud, her voice trembling but steady. Lord, I don't know what they've planned for me, but I will not sell myself to escape it. Protect me. Fight for me. The words filled the room, pressing against Vanessa's heart. For the first time in years, she felt truly small. All her handbags, perfumes, and glittering shoes piled in the corner looked meaningless. She turned away, pretending to check her phone, but her eyes stung. Outside, campus gossip had already spread. Ruth's name was on everyone's lips. To some, she was the quiet cheat exposed at last. To others, just another victim of Professor Daniels' power. And Vanessa, well, her name was starting to surface in those whispers too. The storm was closing in. Night fell heavy on room 312. Ruth slept with her Bible still open on her chest, her breathing calm. Vanessa sat by the window, cigarette glowing faintly in her hand, her face caught between defiance and despair. For the first time in her life, she wondered. What if the girl she mocked for praying was the one truly winning? The night held no answers, only the sound of her own heartbeat, loud against the silence.